Go ahead.
Good. Well, I think that, the future of Alabama football this season, you got to ask yourself, what do you want? Um, what do you want to invest, in the season? And I think, staying in compliance with, you know, some of the issues relative to health and safety for players has got to be of the utmost importance, and we're going to continue to try to emphasize that to keep the players, out of the virus's way. And I think the second thing is you really got to deal with what's in front of you, knowing that, there's been a lot of, you know, things that happen that, create some changes. But this is the way you play. You focus on the next play, you focus on today, you focus on this game. And I think that's really what's important for our team to do right now. I think they've done a really good job, of doing that. We had a good week last week. Everybody stayed, kind of focused and on point. So we want to continue to do that. Um, I think Mark Stoops has done a really good job, at Kentucky. Um, they've got a good team. They have 15 starters coming back from last year's team. They're, I think, first in, pass defense in the SEC. They're second in rushing. They run the ball very effectively. They got really good quarterbacks. Really good running backs. Their quarterbacks are very athletic and can run, create a lot of quarterback run issues, for you. Number 6, Ali, is a really good receiver. Very good return man as well. They've got really good specialists. So, all around, this is a really good team. They've been in every game this year, and they could have won a couple more just as easily as not. So this is a team, I think, that's a little different in terms of what we've seen in the past. And we got to be able to stop the run and win on the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, because that's going to be a real key to the game.
Okay, we'll start things off with Brett Hudson. Go ahead, Brett. I hit the wrong button there. Unmute yourself.
To follow up on Kentucky's use of quarterback run, to kind of describe the role that has in their offense and how you think you've defended that so far this year.
Well, I think when the quarterback can run, it makes it like Wildcat. There's always an extra gap because, you don't really account for the quarterback, in most basic things that you do on defense. So they do a good job with formations. They make you make a lot of adjustments. And you got to stay gap sound in everything you got to do, and you got to have, enough guys in the box to account for the quarterback. I don't think we played, anyone this year that the quarterback actually sort of does, or they have as many quarterback runs as these guys are capable of. But some of it's as simple as just, pulling the ball into zone read, which you got to be very disciplined. Whoever's got the quarterback got to stay on the quarterback. So, this is a game which requires a lot of discipline from all the players. Everybody's got to do their job. It's a little bit like when you play option football. Somebody's got to dive, somebody's got the quarterback, somebody's got the pitch. Even though they're not really an option team, I think there's some of the same principles are involved in terms of how you stop their runs, their quarterback runs, their RPOs, and their passing game.
We'll go to Michael Casagrande.
And I just wanted to check with an update what the status of your roster is in terms of tests and contact tracing.
Well, we're really have never revealed, how many guys we have test, whatever. It's not something that we really want to start now, but, we're fully prepared to be able to play the game, and we're going to coach the players that are out there with us every day and try to keep them safe. And, that's basically, where we're at. But we fully intend to be able to, play this game, and we certainly have enough players that are healthy and able to do that.
We'll go to Tony. Go ahead, Tony. Okay, we'll go to Steven real quick. Tony, we'll come back to you.
Hey, Coach, you've always been one for attention to details, playing with purpose and focus on the field. But when you see your guys bond together in the locker room, bond together off the field, have fun with football, even off the field, What does that do for you as a coach, having those players that really love and appreciate each other?
Well, I think that's what you always, strive for in terms of team togetherness and, guys staying together as a group. I think you can always accomplish more when you have togetherness on your team. That's, everybody, puts the team first. You're kind of out of yourself and into the team. And this group has been that way for the most part. And I really enjoy coaching them because of that. And I think that's helped them stay focused as well. Because they have goals and aspirations for what they want to accomplish. They do it together. They hold each other accountable, and that's really a positive thing for us.
Okay, we will go to Charlie Potter.
Hey, Coach. I know you guys obviously wanted to play this past weekend, but just how beneficial is it to get 2 weeks off to kind of rest after that 6-game stretch and to prepare for another stretch of SEC games?
I don't think that there's pluses and minuses, and we had a bye week, so we were ready to play, and I think the players want to play. I think they want to create value in terms of how they improve as a team, and I also think there's a lot of individual players that want to create value for themselves, and the only way they can do that is really play games. And I don't think, I think playing too many games in a row is really what wears your team down physically and psychologically. And these add-ons, if we were in a normal season, this would be the 11th week of the season. So we've practiced just about as much as it would have been if we were in the 11th game of the season. So I think physically we've been able to take care of our players. I think psychologically is the real challenge for them to be able to stay focused on the things they need to do to continue to improve and to play at a high level, especially when we're basically halfway through the season.
We'll go to Mike Rodak.
With the SEC adding the provision last week that they can change the schedule up until Monday night each week, how does that affect how you approach Sundays and Mondays in terms of preparation for each
It really
game?
doesn't. It's like I said in the beginning of this, you got to focus on what's in front of you. Right now, we're supposed to play Kentucky. That's what we're focused on. That's what we're getting ready to prepare for. If that changes, we've got to be ready to adjust. But so we don't control that. We can't control that. We can't control what we do every day, and that's what we're trying to stay focused on.
Okay, we'll go to Ryan Hennessy.
Hey, Coach. 1 year ago today was the injury that Tua went down with. What has this year been like for you as a coach to see his success, and how proud are you to see him doing well in the NFL?
Well, I actually got to watch him play yesterday for the first time, and I thought he played very well. I was really proud of him. I made some really good throws, led the team to victory, moved them down the field, answered the bell when they needed to, in the fourth quarter. So always makes me proud for every player that we have in the NFL to see him do well. And, that's what the program's all about, trying to help these guys improve and fulfill their dreams of what they want to do in the future on and off the field. And it's always very self-fulfilling to see, guys having success doing that.
Okay, we'll go back to Tony, see if his mic's working.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay, yeah, Coach. What about Najee Harris's game makes him so good in the receiving part of the game, and how does that ability help open up the rest of your offense?
Well, I think it's always good that when you have a back that can play every down and is a very effective third down player, I think, you probably all look at it like pass catching, but Najee's very good in pass protection. So even when people blitz and he has to pick somebody up, it kind of goes unnoticed, but he's got a really good understanding of the protections, doesn't make a lot of mistakes, and can, is big enough to block whoever's coming. And then to add to that we can free release him, and he's a really, really good receiver. It adds a dimension to your offense, and I think running back and tight end is always the best matchups you're going to get, on the defense. So he gets some good matchups, and he certainly takes advantage of them.
We'll go to James Ogletree.
Yeah, Coach, you mentioned gap discipline. It can sometimes be difficult for people outside of a coaching or playing background to understand what all goes into that and why a player may have a missed assignment or something like that. Can you just explain what goes through a defensive player's mind when they're reading their keys and what might lead to those gap discipline issues, and how you feel like your defense has progressed in that regard.
Well, I think we've improved, throughout the year. I think, early on we planned some young players and, we struggled at times, but I think as time has gone on, we've made less mental errors. People have played with more discipline. Keying is eye control is the biggest part of playing defense. So it's play recognition and understanding exactly how you fit on this play, whether it's a zone play, whether it's a gap play, counter, whatever it is. Everybody's got to recognize and see that play and know exactly how they fit on that. So it starts with you have to look at the right thing to have the right eye control. And I think this is always a challenge because as you all do, as I do when I watch a game on TV, you watch the ball. Well, the ball doesn't always tell you where it's going to go, but there's some keys in the element of the play that tells you where the ball is going to end up, and that's what's important to see. So you have to have disciplined eye control to be able to get that done, and everybody's got to react the right way for you to have all the gaps covered.
All right, Coach, that's actually all we've got for you today.
All right, thank you.
Guys.